Call Haloyamla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Brakata Racha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim wa Akwath. Shalom. I just want to make a quick video. I want to go ahead. I've been hearing a lot of noise about this Kyrie Irving and Boston Celtics situation. The back and forth they had and how Kyrie, he was being, terrorized by the immature, racist, bigot fans in the crowd. And I guess throughout the game he was flipping them off, and he flipped them a bird a few times. And so he ended up, that caused a big uproar and a big stir over there in Boston, and made, that was like the leading topic the next day in sports and all of that hypocrisy, and overly critiquing. And 144, call hello Yamla Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua. But yeah, so anyway, so like I was saying, so it was like national news how Kyrie flipped off the racist bigot fans out there in the crowd that's, verbally terrorizing a brother on the court. And so he got fined $50,000, and so that's like a big deal. And over there in Boston, they have such, hardcore, intense hatred that stems, it's way deeper than just the carnal, insignificant sports. It's the very, very fabric of their DNA to have uncontrollable hatred for the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. The hypocrisy and the filth, just the hardcore hatred, just really got me agitated when I was seeing, just hearing about it. And then I watched part of the beginning of the game today, and just hearing how the crowd was just booing and screaming to the top of their lungs, just booing Kyrie every time he touched the ball. It's like, where's the peace? Where's the forgiveness? Where's the humbleness and humility that they always tell us that we need to have when they're talking about, about whenever the past come up, thinking about the past, and bring up things that they've done to us. Yet any little thing that we do in response to their wicked hatred, then they just pour just the most intense hatred towards us and just a mild response to them, But just real quick, I want to go ahead and start real quick in Isaiah 40:2. Because like I said in my last video, we in Babylon the Great. And it's a great vexation. Scripture says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and a gift destroy the heart. So, a wise man is going to be angry and upset and highly offended at the filthy hypocrisy of this place. So Isaiah 40:2. Let me see, I'm trying to find that real quick. Because we need comfort and stability of the Holy Word in these last days. And really, ever since we got off those boats, we're on the boats and when we got off the boats. Isaiah 40:2, speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, lost 12 tribes of Israel, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. The Most High waged war against the Israelites for being wicked. It was just judgment that the Most High brought upon us for being wicked and breaking his commandments, and went a whoring after the other nations. For she hath received of the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua's hand, double for all her sins. So the Most High, he really went in on us and really chastened and judged us very strongly, because he chastened them whom he loved. So he loved us. So he said he will punish us for our sins. And that's in the Amos chapter 3, verse 1-2. So that's why we have to see, Kyrie and the hypocrisy and the hatred being poured towards him, and then the evil, wicked demons, Edomite demons in the crowd that incited him to have that kind of response. They go scot-free while we got to sit here and listen to the media bash him and talk so, toxically hateful about what he did, and just a just response to hatred. So Amos 3:1, hear this word that the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So the Most High, that's why he punished us, and he's gave us double, because we're his children, and he's doing it for our correction in our last end. And those that he allowed to destroy us, beginning with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, they're going to receive far worse than that. Because as it's stated in Revelations 18 in verse 4. Let me see, what is it for? Reward, let me see, reward unto her. Oh, verse 6. So Revelation 18:6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, in the cup which she shall fill, which she hath filled to her double. So we receive double of the most judgment from the Most High, and chiefly the Edomites, so-called white race, have been destroying us, and then they're gonna get that. They're gonna get we got double chastening, and they're gonna get double on top of that for what they've done, because they just endlessly just destroying us. Because if we never get delivered out of Babylon the Great, this will just continue perpetually, and that's a horrible thought. So we need the Most High to deliver us out of this hellhole that we are mercilessly oppressed under. So from there we'll go to Habakkuk chapter 2 in verse 5. This is who we under right now. This is the spirit of the man that we are oppressed under right now since 1619, so-called white man Esau Edom. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, that wine going into philosophies, his lies, his deceit from his own wicked, dark, twisted mind. He is a proud man. No man is proud like him, like the so-called white man, and a hypocrite. Neither keepeth at home. He has military bases in every nation on the earth. He's a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. Everywhere he go, he's a cancer and a virus. Everything deteriorates once he arrives, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations. So that's why this place is the great melting pot, because all nations is over here in Babylon the Great, so-called America. And heapeth unto him all people. So he glorifies himself. He glories in saying that this country, it's a melting pot of all nations together. This is Babylon the Great, because what happened in the old ancient Babylon, all nations was one. And then wickedness came from it when they tried to build a Tower of Babel to go up to the Most High. And their wickedness and their foolishness and folly. But that's what happens when all these other heathen nations become one. And they appointed themselves one head now, and that's Esau Edom, the great whore, over here in Babylon the Great. And so from there, so we'll go ahead and check out real quick. See, because their hatred has no bounds. Edomites don't have foundation. The only foundation they got, well, they don't have a beautiful culture. The only foundation they have that unifies them as a nation, because they hate each other. The so-called white race, they always warring with each other since way back. And the Greeks, they were warring with each other. You can Google this and YouTube this. They have wars when they was the Greeks, when they were the Romans, and the Spanish and French wars, and they always fighting each other. The only thing that unifies them is their perpetual, deep-rooted, unbridled hatred for the Israelites. They band together real quick whenever it's an opportunity to hate us, they band together then. But other than that, they always fighting each other. The Democrats and the Republicans, they political system is divided. either on the right, quote unquote, right wing or the left wing of the bird, or the same bird. They the same bird, but they divided. So they always divided, but they one unification is their hatred for us, the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans. So let me see. I was trying to find. That's not the one I was trying to get right now. I was trying to get the. Can't find it. I think that's it. Yeah. So even that hatred, the crowd was screaming, fuck Kyrie, and they was steady chanting that over and over and over. But they want to talk about how, you know, his obscene gesture of flipping him the bird, how wrong it is and everything. But yet they screaming this and saying fuck Kyrie in front of children. And this is deep rooted because um, way back, the origins of pick a nigga, and they would get a so-called quote unquote nigga and go and lynch him. And there's a picture of they took a picture of a lynched brother and a little girl there. They brought their children there, and it's a picture. I have it somewhere. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But so it's that unbridled hate, and it's just really this just pissed me off. Just hearing all this, checking out the game. They just filthy hypocrites, man, and just prompted me to go ahead and make a video about it. Let's see. It says fuck Kyrie chants break out at Red Sox game. So they have such hatred till even at the baseball game in the baseball stadium called Fenway Park, they were chanting fuck Kyrie, and that don't even have nothing to do with the sport of basketball. That's what they don't have. That doesn't have nothing to do with the sport of baseball. But they heard about it, and so they at the baseball game chanting it. Here it is, right here. So it's disturbing. So they at the baseball game that same day or the next day or whatever that, soon after the news broke out about Kyrie was, making gestures, fighting back against the hatred at the basketball game over there in Boston, whatever it's called, with the Boston Garden, and then at Fenway Park over there in Boston, in the same city, they banded together and they lustful hate toward the Israelites, and the whole stadium is rocking, chanting "fuck Kyrie." That's disturbing. But they tell us to forget about slavery, yet they so angry and uncontrollably hateful about a brother responding when he was incited. They forced him to respond that way. So it's just the pure filth and hypocrisy. And he got fined $50,000, and then the demons and minions that made him do that forced his hand and that pissed him off enough to do that. They don't get fined or reprimanded or nothing. So just pure hypocrisy, and that's that perpetual hatred that they got for us. Let me see. And then let's see. Lynching. Let's see. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That pick a nigga. Lynching in America. Origin of the word picnic is pick a nigga. And then there's a picture. Is this it? Okay. Well, you can Google it, check it out. But the key, I want to get a picture. Let me see if I can pull it real quick. I was trying to find it here. I think this is it right here. See, check this out. This is this is an old picture. And they took pictures at these things too, at these quote unquote picnics, pick a nigga. And they have look at this little Edomite devil right here, this little Edomite girl. The racism is embedded and is taught and is bred from generation to generation. But they tell us to forget about slavery, but they embed it in their children, and then their children watch and witness this, and they enjoying it. She got a smile on her face. She not mortified or scared or ashamed. She's sitting there enjoying it. It's a it's like a that was like a old time. It's like a sporting event now. The arenas is the modern day sporting events. Except we're not getting lynched. We just it's a book called $40 Million Slave. We're just slaves on a multi-billion-dollar plantation, making a slave the plantation on the money on the sports side. So just disturbing. It's their culture and their history. But they tell us to forget about it, but they can't let go of a brother just flipping them off, rightfully so. Let's see what else. It was something else on the show. Ugly history. Yeah, so this was a quick video, a quick article I want to touch on real quick. It's a baseball player. They used to play called. His name was Adam Jones. I don't know if he still play or not, but it says Baltimore Orioles star Adam Jones is sadly all too familiar with racists who show up at MLB ballparks. Back in August 2013, a fan threw a banana at Jones while he was playing center field during a game against the Giants in San Francisco. Jones addressed the incident, which was believed to be racially motivated, on Twitter after the game. I want to thank whatever person threw that banana towards my direction in center field in the last inning. Way to show your class. And then so that was, he went to the internet after the game to talk about it, to expose it or whatever. But it's very mild. Should call him a devil, but you got to be politically correct if you in that wicked system. Or you don't have to, but if they want to continue to make money, they have to be politically correct. But despite the fact that Jones has been vocal about racism he has encountered throughout the course of his career, it doesn't stop opposing fans from demonstrating racist behavior towards him. So, they can just continuously be racist and filthy towards us, but we have to be politically correct. But they say forget about slavery, but we got to continuously deal with this traumatizing experience time and time again for demonstrating racist behavior towards him. Most recently, Jones was subjected to racial slurs during a game against the Red Sox in Boston. They go Boston again. One fan even threw a bag of peanuts in Jones' direction and was subsequently ejected from the game, which led to Jones to address the situation after the game. And then this is him quoted. A disrespectful fan threw a bag of peanuts at me. He said I was called the N-word a handful of times tonight. Thanks, pretty awesome. He's being sarcastic, but this is what we got to deal with the Babylon the Great. You have to be subjugated to this, and you can't say nothing about it. You can't really go in like you want to, or if you do, what's going to happen to you like Colin Kaepernick that, got blackballed, got whiteballed from the NFL. He lost his career because he spoke out against police brutality. Jones also talked about how disappointed he was to see so many fans going out of their way to resort to racism in an effort to hurt him. It says it's kind of, I don't want to read the whole thing, but it said I heard there was 59 or 60 ejections tonight in the ballpark. So these are rabid animal savage cave beasts. Like 59 to 60 people got ejected that game that day because of their racist bigot actions. And then down here, so he was complaining about it, and then I guess the cunning, slick hunter and liar and deceiver that Esau is. You always got your apologists that wanted to come and defend and try to dismiss the actions of one and try to make it a individual thing and not a nationwide thing. And so he tweeted this some devil here. Dave Rose had tweeted, I'm a Boston fan who would like to say we are sorry for what you went through last night. It's not who we are. And then you have all these other people saying the similar things. Sorry, Adam Jones, the real Boston respects you and what you do. The more runs you heard don't speak for the rest of us. It's just a joke, This is the same old garbage. It's the same little card they'll pull and they'll try to pacify you with verbal kindness, but we know inside their heart what they truly do and what they how they truly feel, what their true colors are, and they just do that to try to pacify us as a nation, so that we won't rise up too much, and they just try to deal crafty with us. But we know that they the serpent and the devil the Bible speaks of, those that are in the truth. Yeah, and so they say so this devil here, he says it's not who they are. It's not who Boston is. So when I just did a quick search, it's easy to find about Boston. So he said it's not who they are. They're not racist. So it's an article right here. It says Boston, racism, image, reality. It says Google the phrase most racist city, and Boston pops up more than any other place, time and time again. So that devil just lied. So these people, they blatantly lie to our face, and there's plenty of evidence, and we know that that's a lie. But it's good that we know from the history. But then you could easily just look up information to immediately to first and foremost in the scriptures, and then you could find just historical articles that proves these devils to be the devil the Bible speaks of. They are deceivers and they only deserve judgment. So it says it may be easy to write that off as a meaningless digital snapshot of what people say about us and what we say about ourselves. Proof of little beyond proof of little beyond the dated or hopefully outdated memories of Boston's public and fierce school desegregation battles of the 1970s. See, they just want they ugly, filthy history to just be forgotten and say it's outdated. No, as long as so-called white people are alive, it's current. You know what I'm saying? They just try to get more and more crafty. They speak and they talk. It's all vain, empty words. All we can do is just be patient and just pray into the Most High to destroy these people and to rid us from this virus known as the so-called white race. It says, except that Boston's reputation problem goes much deeper than an online search. A national survey, so they did a national survey about the racism in the country. A national survey commissioned by the Globe this fall found that among 8 major cities, black people, so-called blacks, black people ranked Boston as least welcoming to people of color. So, so this immediately debunks that evil, wicked, lying, deceiving little Edomite devil that said that that's not who they're about, and then other people chimed in and said that sorry for the few bad apples. They always want to try to chalk it up to an individual case, a person by person case, and just a few bad apples when it's actually their spirit as a nation. So they just got exposed here. They, you know what I'm saying? So Boston is actually so that hatred, because that's pretty abnormal for one sport fan base, even though it's the same city, but for a whole different sport, a sporting arena, a whole different sport in a whole different stadium, to be chanting, fuck fuck a player, and that's playing in a whole different sport. That's another level. That's next level racism and hatred that goes far beyond just, it has nothing to do with sports, but they disguise it as sports, fans just being rabid, fans of the game and coming up against a player. But no, it's actually Edomites just letting go and letting their rage that they have from their spirit against the Israelites, just letting it flow in the disguise of passionate sports fans. You know what I'm saying? These people can drop dead, man. These people are of Satan, man. A national survey commissioned by the Globe this fall found that among 8 major cities, black people ranked Boston as least welcoming to people of color. More than half, 54%, rated Boston as unwelcoming. It says little wonder that some comedians and athletes take aim at Boston. So Boston, all this did was just shed light for me personally, and hopefully, it's edifying for the body. I didn't know that Boston was this. I knew Boston was bad, but I didn't know it's really the capital city in the nation for racist Edomite devils. So that's good to know. Even though we know wherever we see an Edomite, that's the border of wickedness. But to see which city in this country is the worst. It's pretty crazy. It says, take aim at Boston, like Michael Chi of Saturday Night Live this year, telling a global television audience that this was the most racist city I've ever been to, or HBO's John Oliver suggesting that it took this summer's anti-bigotry march on Boston Common to finally make Boston unracist. The reputation is real and pervasive, but most important, is it deserved? Well, we know it's deserved. They love to pose these little questions as a fact to try to, you know, slither around facts. But that's enough on that. I just wanted to get that. You can read the articles if you want. You can do a little quick research. Um, I may put the link in the description, and you can look it up yourself. But yeah, so let's go ahead and now get some. I just wanted to go ahead and expose that, bring a little light to it. Go ahead and get some precepts and go ahead and close out. So in the book of Sirach 41:7, they see how they want to say that. Is this, so you want to try to act like their hateful spirit, racist Edomite spirit, is outdated and is old and outdated and ancient, but actually it's current because they're alive and their hatred for us will never die. I'm trying to pull it up. Never have problems with this. It's probably Satan right now messing with the app. What in the world? Okay, cool. Still not showing. Okay. Well, I have it here. I'll just let me just pull it up in Google. Sirach 41:7. See if it'll come up there. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. So, they always want to say that it was in the past. Forget about slavery. Got to forgive. You can't hold that hatred. But yet, when a brother he not randomly just attacking people, flipping them off. He's responding to racism and slurs and hate and, being terrorized mercilessly at a game. And then they just pour out in unison, fuck Kyrie. Then they had those chants at the basketball game tonight, and they had it at that baseball game that had nothing to do with basketball. The whole baseball stadium rocking with, fuck Kyrie chants, which is just, sickening and disgusting. But that's their spirit. That's all they know, and that's their culture. They don't have righteousness in their spirit. They're black spirited. They're upside down. Their spirit is twisted. They're children of Satan. So we'll go to Ezekiel 35. Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So the Most High say that our iniquity is accomplished, but yet Esau Edom continuously and perpetually destroying us, and he won't stop. And that's why he had to receive double that we've received, because we've received double, and then they're going to get ×2 on top of our double. And we know that this is talking about Esau because right here, verse 1, moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. So the Most High is speaking against them. And verse 3, and say unto it, thus saith the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. So we know that this is Mount Seir. So we know Mount Seir is Esau Edom. We'll go to Genesis chapter 36 to prove that. In verse 8, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So that's the landmass, the mount and that's the place of Edom. Just like Mount Zion is are the Israelites' mountain name. Esau, his habitation is called, like homeland is called Seir. So whenever they say Seir, it's talking about Esau Edom, just like Zion talking about Israel. So just to touch on that. Ezekiel chapter 35. Go back there real quick. And then verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, sith thou, meaning since thou hast not hated blood, even blood, Slaki, even blood shall pursue thee. So they pursue blood, meaning that they only want to shed our blood. So since they only want to do that, then the Most High is about to prepare them unto blood and reward unto them double according to their wickedness against us. And then a little bit more, Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10 is one chapter, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So that's their end. They're going to be cut off forever. In verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. So it represents the northern and southern kingdom. Jacob right here in this instance is the southern kingdom, and the house of Joseph, that's the northern kingdom, because Joseph is the head tribe of the northern kingdom. And the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. So what's stubble? That's the end result of fire. And they shall kindle in them. When you kindle something, that's the fire, and devour them. The fire is going to devour the Edomites, so-called white race. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, hath spoken it. So because of their wickedness, the Most High is going to have to take them out via fire, thermonuclear fire. That's what those missiles are created for. The Esau's demise and his end, and then also the chariot laser beam fire, the hell fire, and lake of fire, burning with fire and brimstone. And that's righteous judgment, because all they do is pollute the earth. And how do you get rid of leprosy? Through fire. The law of leprosy. I did a video way back. You can look that up. The law of leprosy and its relevance to nations. That's the name of the video. You can check that out. And that goes into Esau. He's the leper. He's the leprous disease. And the law of the leprosy, when it's spreading, and what you do with it, you burn it. Zechariah chapter 11. Yeah, go there. No, let me get Lamentations. Let me see. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. Thy punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. That's the Israelites. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. So this is our last captivity. There will not be any more captivities after this Babylon the Great under the captivity under the Edomites. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. In Zechariah 11 and 5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. The most popular one that started the reign of terror of seeing our brothers getting gunned down, or hearing about our brothers getting gunned down by these Edomite pig cops, and then be let off and always have a verdict of not guilty. Trayvon Martin, all the way up now, George Floyd, and then so many in between, and more after George Floyd as well. So that's who slay us. They hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, and they sell who? They sold their slaves, the Israelites. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. And so they justify their wickedness. They always giving themselves excuse as to why it's okay for them to destroy us. And they always say, "Oh, y'all kill y'all. What about black on black crime?" That's an epidemic, but that's because also woe unto him that sow discord among brethren, the so-called Esau Edomites. I mean, so-called white man Esau Edom, with through the Willie Lynch letter and these Jim Crow laws, they made us hate. They made us hate each other, and that's biblical prophecy of the curses. His eye that is tender towards his brother. His let me just go ahead and get it. Let's see. Okay, 54. It says, verse 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, because we were very tender towards each other and very respectful, very brotherly towards each other, and we loved each other. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. And that was all biblical prophecies of us hating each other and you know having a hateful relationship with our wives, you know, and the women being put over us, and that's biblical prophecy as well. And then also, so-called quote unquote deadbeat dads, but a lot of men don't want to deal with a brawling, hateful woman, and they end up leaving. They have problems, but that's all the curses for not keeping the commandments of the Most High. So through the Willie Lynch letters and all of that, that's how Esau Edom sowed that discord among brethren, and he's going to be destroyed for that because he's divided us up and made us hate each other. But then that tenderness that we once had is now given to Esau because they hope that Esau will love them. How people want the white man to love them so bad till they drop their love. I mean, till they kiss his behind, hoping that he'll be nice to him. So from there, and they say, I was reading this in verse 5 again. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So at the last verse of last sentence of verse 5, they've paid off the shepherds. They've appointed shepherds over us. Al Sharpton's, Jesse Jackson's, Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, all of these modern day, Geno Jenkins, that retarded demon as well. All these false shepherds, and they put on as that's how he loved to play games. He's the one that put them in place, and then say that they don't pit us, and then say that their shepherds don't take care of us and they don't properly fight for us. Well, that's because they're on your payroll, Esau Edom. Just madness, man. Uh, so from there, Psalms 56 and 7. Shall they escape by iniquity? In thine anger cast down the people, O Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua. So Esau, he thinking that he'll forever rule in wickedness, and that he'll escape by, and justifying it, saying that our shepherds pity us not, and giving every excuse, thinking he shall escape through his wickedness that he's committing. But the Most High will cast him down. So Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21, biblical scripture says otherwise. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So the Most High says he's going to destroy slaughtered the children for the iniquity of their fathers and ancestors. Because why? They still in possession of stolen land, innocent blood that they shed and spilled, even though we know that that was our judgment. But we didn't do anything to the Edomites. They came over here and slaughtered our native brothers over here, the Northern Kingdom, so-called Indians, so-called Hispanics. And they used us, took us from the west coast of Africa, made us build the country over here, the blood-soaked land, made us build their country on top of the blood and bones of our brothers. And so nobody's ever atoned for those sins. And so what I was gonna say, something else I was on one other point. But yeah, they're in possession of this stolen land. The land is still blood soaked. You just can't see it, but the blood cries into the Most High continually. We'll go ahead and get that too. So this is how we know that the blood cries out, even to this day. Genesis 4:10 said in the King James Version right here, says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So Cain and Abel, that was the early days of Esau and Jacob. Cain slew Abel. Wicked Cain slew righteous Abel, and so righteous Abel is representative of the Israelites, and Esau is Cain regenerated again, and Abel is Israel, Jacob and Israel regenerated again. That's another topic. But if righteous Abel, if Abel's righteous blood cried unto the Most High when Cain slew him, then how much then also the Israelites' blood is crying? That is hundreds of millions of Israelites that Esau shed the blood of to build this blood-soaked country. So nothing's been done to atone for that. And so there's a couple of things in the law a couple of laws in the law, just off that alone, that will condemn Esau, because he's still in possession of stolen people. So Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth the man, that's what Esau did to us on the west coast of Africa and brought us over here. And he that stealeth the man and selleth him, he sold us into slavery over here on the auction blocks. Or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Not maybe, not, you can justify it and talk your way out of it like they love to do. They can say that this is not what we're about. No, shed blood, and you have people in your possession, the Israelites, the jewels of the Most High. And then one more, in Numbers here. This is game, set, match on this evil, wicked demon. Numbers 35:33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. So we know Esau Edom has defiled the land with the blood of the Israelites, the so-called Native American Indians, who are the lost 12 tribes, the lost Northern Kingdom. So for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the only way this blood can be accounted for is by the blood of the wicked demon that shed our blood. And we know for a fact that they have not done that. They want to talk it away. They want to rationalize it, try to smooth talk it away. But yet, the whole time, they still doing the same actions and exuding the same spirit that caused their ancestors, to shed our ancestors' blood and enslave us. And a couple more precepts, and go ahead and close out. Galatians chapter 6. People, a demon will probably say, "Oh, you was that's in the in the Old Testament." Well, what did the Messiah say? I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. So when the Messiah, that's why people, these scoffers, they on a very low understanding level, because when the Messiah was walking on the earth, what happened? What was he always quoting? He was always quoting the what? Old Testament. The New Testament was not complete. The New Testament was not written when the Messiah was teaching. So what was the Messiah? What did the Messiah have to teach from? The Old Testament, the book of the law, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. The first five books is the Lord, the book of the law, and then the prophets. That's why I say to the law and to the testimony. It says, and the law and the prophets, because the law is the first five books, and then the rest of the Old Testament is the prophets. Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, all the rest of the books. So yeah, that's that. So Galatians 6 and 7, be not deceived. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So you reap bloodshed, innocent bloodshed, murder, rape, robbery, and murder, and slaughter and enslavement of the Israelites, then that's what he's going to reap. We all know what karma is in the world, that what you do, you're going to receive. So if you only sowing poison, you're going to reap poison. It's just bottom line. Verse 8, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So we know that so-called white man, Esau Edom, he only sows to the flesh and only sows corruption, and he's going to reap it. So it's just the Most High has spoken, and this is in the New Testament, so you can't. It's common sense. And then right here, last verse, Revelations 13 and 10, start at verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Meaning, if you have understanding, listen up. Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So he killed with the sword. He stole us. We're in his possession to this day. So he that stealeth a man and be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. It's of a surety. The Most High say he shall surely be put to death, not maybe. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna post these links in the description or in the comment section. You can go ahead and check out these links and read them if you want. But I hope this video was edifying. The water to the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, for the Rachak Kodash to make a video. Hope this video was edifying. To the next video, I say, Shalom.